Here we go.
And they are off. It is a standard start, so they're both starting in bed.
Blue Boom.
Not a bad first item to have.
It was French vanilla.
Actually, French vanilla for that chest would be the lamp.
That just be vanilla, but considering in standard mode this is all pretty much the same area, I'm calling that French vanilla.
Gotcha.
And there's our sword.
So yeah, we're just gonna see basically.
Sword?
Ooh, that is that's a nice luxury to have for escape.
It's only been a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna have to see how good both of their escapes are, because that's what it comes down to in this standard start. You know, you're gonna have to do your escape as, you know, as if you were speedrun.
So our light world dungeons on a quick check from Ptrain there were all crystals. It was 314, I believe. And there's our second key. BrewersFanJP going with the Dragonite sprites, Ptrain with the Modern Link sprite. I feel like I've been rolling the same sprite all day.
Yeah, that's the second Dragonite sprite in a row.
Oh, you know, I only rolled the past 3 seeds, not that I'm complaining, but that is what happened.
So with a standard start, everything in escape is in logic because you get that free visibility cone when you're going through sewer.
It's oh so free. And I'm just glad we're not doing Oko like we did the other night.
And we're about to find out what's in the chest next to Zelda.
It's Brian!
So this seed's starting out fairly generous to our runner.
I do like seeing that blue cane.
What would be really nice is something like the boots in a in an early start on a standard. That's the dream, right?
That is the dream. They need some blue mail to finish their outfit. They got the blue boom, blue cane, a blue sword. They need blue mail.
Yeah.
They need to finish their fashionable ensemble.
Everything has to match. It's very important. It gets you swag points, which you can cash in later. Yes, blue shield as well, Sandra. So they're relatively close to each other.
Yeah,
PT range just a little bit behind.
We probably really won't know anything as far as what they have in store for us until after Hyrule getting out of escape here.
Yeah.
What they really want to find right now, though, is a bomb, so they can just make this one trip instead of 2.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting they didn't try to fish for a bomb.
But Ptrain got one. He got that bomb.
PT Rain getting that bomb.
Doesn't matter.
And doesn't matter. There's bombs in Dark Cross. There you go.
So we'll be making one trip down here. Dark Shadows, I like to think I willed it into existence because I brought it up.
Loon Slice, this is an all dungeons seed, which means they need to complete every single dungeon to win the game.
That includes Aga Tower.
Bomb plant. Yes, I like that idea. Planting bombs as one of your plants. That's well, nothing but money in those chests.
That's actually not bad. I mean, you're gonna need that money at some point here.
Yeah, but it doesn't get the heart racing, and that's the excitement you want when you're first starting out.
So, Brewers Fan will be the first one to get out of the escape here.
And our last escape chest, let's see what it contains.
Just $5.
More money. Well, he has robbed the church collection plate, and looks like Ptrain is going for a safe quit to somewhere. Back to the house.
He's a chunky dragon. What is he going to do with that money?
Brewers Fan looking like he's going to check map and start his search in the Lost.
Now, right now, I can't blame Ptrain for doing... Okay, never mind. I thought he was about to go to Agina's cave, because that's been a popular choice amongst the runners in this tournament.
Whoa,
and
silver!
Mushrooms.
That's a nice early find. That'll definitely help going through the entire game here.
But yeah, Ptrain just going straight South Shore, not bothering to go towards CAC right now. And trees gift you magic. Alright, definitely Ptrain's going to Agina's cave, because, again, in this tournament, that's been a popular destination for item placement. And I don't blame him.
Now you have to wonder, is it a placement on their side, or are they just being careful? Looks like they're going to check ledge over there real quick. Brewers Fan going into Blind's hut. Nothing but a heart piece on the ledge desert.
Glove, bombs, heart, and mirror.
Well, that's
a cape.
Interesting. I don't feel like that would be a plant. I don't know if anybody would plant cape. Because the only thing you can do with it is bumper, so... But,
Did he put something on bumper then?
It would require an early access to bumper, I would say, to really gain an advantage. But there's the Bugnet and Titan's Mitts.
Wow, okay. So that's a thing.
So, Brewers only needing the Moon Pearl to complete the Dark World Access set.
There's a hammer. And tempered.
Wow, this seed, very generous up front. There's our validation arrow.
He feels very validated by throwing that chicken over there.
Ptrain going up to Ice Rod Cave. Brewers going to check library.
Oof. Those accursed craps.
I could not see what was on the bookcase. Brewers fan checked that and instantly got out of there. That was really so. Looks like Darkrid's saying powder. Sandra is as well.
That makes me very sad. So now we're having an exchange of checks here, as Brewers is heading south and Ptrain's going through CAC from the south.
It'll be interesting to see once they're done. Ptrain did not go and fake flipper up to the Zora area in Waterfall, so we'll look to see if Brewers fan does that, even though he doesn't have the money for King Zora.
I'd imagine that was the thing with Ptrain. He doesn't and didn't have the money then. Yeah, now I can see real quick it was definitely the powder.
And Brewers fan getting their hammered and tempered. The seed that keeps on giving.
No, that was my seed from this morning.
True.
Aga is 100% likely because it's all dungeons.
I did. True. I did forget that they do not have the Moon Pearl to do the water walk. So definitely checking up there would not be good at this. But it will be interesting to see what our runners are going to do after they complete their respective checks. Because this is a point where they're going to have to start. Well, they do have the Eastern check with Sahasrala's Closet left to do.
Now, the things I'm kind of looking for right now is probably either a, and this is just going off what Brewers fan has found. I'm probably either looking for a light source or a flute right now to get up on Death Mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if after Brewers fan is done checking desert area and after Ptrain's done checking the CAC and Lost Woods area that they don't go to the eastern area and check what Sahasrala's got in his closet.
And there's Ptrain with his mirror.
Seemingly a little bit frustrated or excited. I can't tell for finding that. So Ptrain looking like they're gonna go up to Lost Woods, and Brewers is going to Eastern. Ptrain gonna be a little excited when they find their silvers. And there's that light source and the book. So that puts Brewers in a spot to do a few things. Brewers can go to desert. Brewers can go up Death Mountain. And definitely it can complete Desert Palace, Tower of Hera, or do some other check. Brewers, I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like Brewers is doing the agate play. Ptrain getting his book, and looks like Ptrain might be going for Death Mountain at this point. Yep, that's correct, Dark Rid. They've got a tablet check they can do. They've got Old Man. They've got Spectacle Rock, and all of Hera to. Old Man gives 10 arrows. Meanwhile, Brewers just continuing to plug away, get through Aga. Getting access to the Dark World may prove more lucrative, but we shall see if Ptrain finds anything interesting up here. That is correct. They do have the hammer, so they can do some East Death Mountain as well. Brewers getting ready to take on Aghanim. Siberian, how many blue balls do you think Brewers is going?
3.
3. I'm gonna go with. There's one. Little love in the basement for Ptrain. Up to 3 blue balls on a Brewers fan looking not too happy about getting blue balled out of that first go. There's 4. Aghanim being very unfriendly today. We are up to 5 blue balls now.
Six. Ha ha ha.
A unique item is in Turtle Rock.
I forgot to turn those off, didn't I?
Very hint. Much wow.
I'm tired. I'm going back to bed.
It's the worst thing is you're here in the booth with me to answer for your crime. So Brewers completing his Aga run. And let's see. It is Pearl on the pyramid. Now, if that's not a placement, I don't know what is. The question is, though, did Brewers place it? You might think that they did, but given the fact that the way this tournament is going, it's also easy to make that assumption that someone may.
And there's Ptrain getting Trolldorm down as his first boss.
Brewers finding Red Cane in the Hype Cave.
That's pretty hype.
I would say so. In an all dungeon seed, having as many progressions items as you can, as fast as you can, will definitely help. It allows you to more efficiently, you know, and gives you more options to play with. Oh, looks like Brewers is checking Bombo's tablet right away. That could be interesting. Oh, looks like it's just a safety check there. So Ptrain did not collect all the items going into the basement to get that final.
Well, the key was also further up, so pretty much this is just an item count and making sure it's nothing,
Yep.
which it is, sadly.
Looks like Ptrain gonna do those East Death Mountain check.
Yeah, this is just along the lines of item density. These aren't bad checks right now.
No. You can do Spiral, Paradox, and Super Bunny.
The main thing, though, right now, sadly, is he is looking for that Moon Pearl. So if I was in Ptrain's shoes, I don't want to eclipse 500 rupees right now.
Brewers fan hitting the dig game. Finding a bunch of secret stash cash. But the main thing is, because it is all dungeons, you don't necessarily regret some of these checks as much as you would in a Ganon Seed. So while they may be looking for the Moon Pearl right now, it may not. Oh, and there's the butter. But yeah, Ptrain may stumble upon something interesting in doing their.
I think butter is pretty interesting.
Yeah. And it looks like Ptrain's going to do that Aga play.
Yeah, so I would not call this a time loss in any sense because BrewerFan also has to go up there and make those checks at some point.
Plando is we have its randomizer, but the trick is in this tournament right now there are 6 placements, 2 from each runner, 1 from the booth and 1 from the audience, and you can place anything within logic, and that is what Brewers Fan picking up the blue mail there, and that's what the difference is from normal rando.
You know, with his health the way it is, that blue mail is a good find right now.
And some blue goo to go with the blue mail. It's a.
I mean, we said that at the start of the seed. This is a blue game. Absolutely, it's a blue seed.
Brewers Fan immediately checking the sick. That sick kid is packing some heat.
He's been stiffing them fumes from making all them bombs.
Is that kid really sick, though? Or is it just an excuse to stay inside and make more bombs?
Probably sick in the head.
The world may never know, Dark Rid. Brewers Fan now checking Thieves Town. So, Ptrain is now going to enter the Aga. Brewers Fan making his way to the back of Thieves Town now. Ptrain engaging Aghanim. Gonna find out at Aghanim's
very annoying fight.
I lost track. What did we end at? 7?
That was 3 in a row right there. So regardless, 3 in a row. That's some bad times. That's 4. I think it was 7. It was like 6 or 7 the first time.
Dark Rid, get on your game. Too engaged in chat. Ptrain spinning his way into into the dark world, just like. All right, so Ptrain gonna check that pyramid ledge right away and find their moon pearl.
Yeah, he's happy to see that now, finally. So I'd imagine he's going to be making the same checks that BrewerFan has right now. Or is he going to go into pod?
That'd be a interesting play to make.
Yeah, instead of going straight south, he kind of started listening to that right, and it's like, huh.
Now you gotta wonder here, is something placed, because going to pod without the bow is an interesting choice.
I will say he will at least be able to just run straight through it when he comes back here later.
Or is the bow here?
Ooh, that's a good thought.
Because I would feel like you've got Hype Cave at least to check. You know, it would be better than coming here. Unless you knew the bow would... And BrewersFan making short work of blind.
Yeah, so when BrewersFan or Ptrain comes back through here, we'll just go right side as opposed to the front door.
Because if I were to place it, you know, in here, you place it at the, let's just say, back end of left side, so that you can mirror back and do right side into the boss. And
yeah, well, pretty much what you hope is you orphan a key in that ledge chest in the center room, and the bow's in that chest before you hammer the pegs.
Alright, so BrewersFan looks like he's gonna take care of the purple chest.
Looks like he's gonna check the mad batter first.
Yeah. And there's a rod.
Was it a good rod or a bad rod?
Actually, I'm kind of colorblind, so I couldn't tell. And there's the big key. But Ptrain picking up that rod, couldn't tell right away what
Fire rod.
Fire rod it is.
That's actually a pretty good pickup for Ptrain right now.
Looks like they are going to the maze. We'll see what's in this big chest here.
I think I like this, because he's probably banking on the harmless Hellway having a small key and deciding to orphan it there. And then when he comes back later, if he does not find the bow here, to just orphan that chest and go straight right side.
Right. Because if they place the bow, this is where it would.
And there's our Fisher Price shield.
So they
So no bow, but we did find a fire rod, and that's a pretty good pickup in my opinion.
Interesting. Another dungeon they'll have to double dip if they don't get the bow.
I'm not sure about this. Meanwhile, BrewersFan has found Bombos.
Yeah, maybe they're banking on the bow was placed. That's the only thing I can think of because there are better checks you could be doing right now. So, it make Ptrain making a real gamble. Brewer is going to check the bumper ledge, and it is 50.
Just $50.
I mean, Sarah, the ped bow is a possibility. The bow could be in a ton of places and in all dungeons. There's half magic.
That's a nice find. So we got gold sword, we got half magic.
BrewersFan checking graveyard ledge in King's.
$30.
$300 in King's Tomb. Looks like BrewersFan is trying to exhaust all the overworld options before they go into dungeons for the most part.
That's an interesting play, Cotton. Let's see if it pays out for him.
Alright, it looks like BrewersFan's probably going to make the Desert Palace play. And Ptrain looks like they're going to finally check the hype cane.
Yeah, so they're going to find their red cane. And I'd imagine they're going to be doing the checks that BrewersFan did over here from earlier.
One thing that BrewersFan has that is going to give them a little bit of advantage is the boots. The longer they have that boots, the longer they're going to have that speed advantage.
I completely agree with you.
And it doesn't really add a whole lot, but the longer you go without getting the boots, you know, as opposed to your opponent, that it's just time, just plain time lost that you can't have. And the red mail.
So BrewersFan looking rather safe right now with that red mail.
And a bottled fairy. So that is our third bottle? I think the third bottle.
Yeah, that's our third bottle.
I can't remember if it's third or second. But Brewers fan going to pick up his Landmo and Crystal from Desert Palace. And Ptrain looks like they are possibly headed K40. And Grove, Stumpy. I can't recall if Brewers fan did check K45, I believe. I think it was a heart container.
Yep. Just a heart.
Brewers fan wiping up Landmo. Ptrain going to pick up his $300 at the dig game. Let's see where Brewers goes from here. I would venture to say, starting from Sank, probably going to Death Mountain now.
Well, with what he's done, that is really the next play right now.
Yeah. Because you have the bow. You can do some East Death Mountain. You can't do you could do some hookshot cave if you're hover, or you can get the couple of bonkable ones. And you can do Floating Island. I don't know if Ptrain checked Floating Island while they were over.
I don't think he did. I think he went through Spyro Cave and then he went through Paradox and didn't bother looking at it.
Brewers fan getting some spin speed. Island was a big 20. So Ptrain skipping purple chest and hammer pegs, it looks like.
No, he checked hammer pegs.
Oh, he checked hammer pegs?
Okay. Yeah, he's right now he's just skipping that purple chest.
Getting his blue mail. It's always funny when the randomizer trolls you by giving you bombs when you check bombs.
It's a fun one.
Blue goo at C shape.
So, at this point, and this may just be me, and looking how the seed is turning out, we may be doing this in a bit of a reverse order, doing all of our crystal dungeons first, and then doing our pendant dungeons.
That's the way it seems to be. And I have yet to see... I mean, there's been a couple items that I've thought, well, maybe it's a placed item, but I have yet to see anything that's a definitive, yes, that's something someone played. So they could have their placed items tied up so far.
Yeah. The only item I think we're looking for possible no mode is an ice rod.
Ptrain headed through Thieves Town. Yeah, we're definitely missing some interesting progression items, such as your flippers, your bow, and your flute. The hook shot is definitely one of those things that people just kind of... You can almost guarantee that someone's going to try to mess with it. And looks like it's coffee break time for Brewers. So, given that Ptrain has the fire rod, they can go up and check Skull Woods after they're done here at Thieves Town, which could give them a bit more time back from some of the gambles they made earlier.
Yeah, because these are going to be checks that Brewers Fan has not done, considering he does not have the fire rod yet.
It'll be interesting to see if Brewers Fan dips Turtle Rock at all while they're over here.
He can take a look, but he's gonna need a small key from the first chest.
Yeah, it could be worth checking the first three. No, they don't have the fire rod, so yeah, I would say that. But I do believe they will find the fire rod here. If I remember, it was in
No, fire rod was in pod.
It was in pod. Okay, yeah. So it'll be a while before Brewers Fan finds.
Yeah,
probably.
So right now, both our runners are doing checks that the other has. Brewers Fan has a dungeons advantage, but Ptrain's about to have pretty much 2 of the 3 same dungeons. There's Ether. I was wondering where Ether was. I missed that from earlier.
Yes, that's correct, Daddy. Now that you've said that. And Brewers picks up his butter. Yeah, I do remember now it's in the turn. Sarah, there are plenty of items that can be locked away in GT. Hook shot is definitely one of the notable ones that you can lock away in GT. Flippers can be. Any of the medallions, just as long as not all of them are. And it is Ether. So Brewers Fan going to give the at least open up Turtle Rock. Not sure if they're gonna give it a good old try since they can only check one chest in there.
Nope.
Just opening it up.
I don't blame him. That's a quick thing you can do, and you don't have to do it later. And it looks like Ptrain, I believe, is about to go pick up his friend Jeremiah and probably get some powder out of it.
Brewers fan looking like they're gonna do some hookshot case.
He's gonna check that one chest though. Oh no!
And Brewers fan
I
doing
mean,
what we probably all have done, yeah.
Super 2.
Yeah, you always think in your mind, I want to bonk off this, but you know, you got to press the A.
3 for 3.
0 for 3. You got to fight your brain on those sorts of, you know, the turnaround for the bonk jumps.
Alright, so it looks like Ptrain is going to go ahead and go into Skull Woods here.
And not worth his time finding 10 arrows on that. Oh, looks like they are going to do the one.
Now,
and I mean,
this to make it worthwhile, this first chest has to be a small key.
Yep. Either way, it's not the biggest time loss.
It's a big key.
Is it the most efficient thing? No, but yeah, you're in the area and anything can be anywhere, so it's a gamble you can.
Looks like Brewers Fan is going to check Spike Cave too while it is up here. Meanwhile, Ptrain has opened up Skull Woods here.
Going to skip that first chest down there. And Daddy, I would say that sometimes you gotta make calculated risks, given that people place things in weird spots in this tournament. You know, sometimes you gotta go for it, and it is what it is.
So here's a fight we all like to have: a Gold Sword Mothula. So this won't take any time at all.
Oh, look at that. Man, I thought that fight would never be over.
I was sweating bullets. Alright, so Ptrain's lucky, and that first chest in the back here has an item. He can just say, I'm done here.
Yep.
And does not look like he's checking it. Head height.
He may have counted his items. And here we go. Just a heart piece. So nobody messed with Pet.
And I don't blame Ptrain for doing that check. He's here, he has a mirror, he has the book. Quick check.
So now we have Brewers making that pod dip. So it looks like maybe that pod dip may end up being required. Because that fire rod is definitely a big item to have. And that gamble may have played off in Ptrain's favor.
You know, I'm looking at our crystals, items we need right now. This ice rod has the potential to just be nasty if we don't find it soon. So, I'm curious.
Curious that.
Huh.
I thought that chest always had a key in it. So that you couldn't get locked in that room.
Well, fortunately, he didn't get locked.
Huh. Either way, Brewers doing his pod checks, and Ptrain headed to Bumper Ledge.
$20.
And now let's see what where Ptrain goes from here.
It looks like he's doing his North Hyrule checks here, which are good checks.
Yeah, there was $20 in that, and I thought, Darkrid, that was supposed to be a guaranteed key because you can lock yourself in that room if you don't have a key. Yeah.
So Brewers fan finally got his fire rod.
You know what, Brewers fans probably, you know, if I was a runner and I saw that pod dip, you know, I would think that the fire rod was placed.
Yeah, it would be on the back of my mind right now. And if I was him, I think I have to go back up to T-Rock now. I have to make a second trip back up there.
And yeah, and even if neither of our runners placed it, that's definitely stuff that goes through your mind when you see a key item like that in an awkward spot.
So, I don't think either of our runners have checked Catfish yet. And that's on the back of my mind right now.
Well, it looks like Ptrain's gonna set himself up for I'm not sure what he may be trying for. I'm not familiar with this one, if anything.
I don't know.
Oh, bomb jump into fake flipper. Okay, I see.
Well, he got it, so he's going to be checking Catfish in a moment here.
That's a neat little trick. I've you when you commentate and watch these things, you learn new things all.
Yeah, it's also definitely a trick you don't see used at all. Because you don't think about doing it.
I mean, imagine the amount of times that becomes useful, you know? Because you're only gonna go up here for one check.
He's gonna be doing 2 checks here, actually, because we haven't done King Zora yet either.
That's true. Yeah, that's the only time, really, is when you're gonna do this area. Looks like Ptrain did not want the red meringue.
It's so magical.
Ptrain's like, I ain't got time for that. I got a race to win.
And he just forgot that he does not have flippers yet.
Brewers fan also doing that Eastern dip.
Alright, well, cue up Dr. Bob, because where in the world is that godforsaken ice ride?
Yeah, where our runners are starting to run out of stuff to check, and gonna have to start getting creative. I think they're based on memory, I think they're pretty much evened up at this.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that assessment.
Except Brewers fan has not done Skull Woods, but that's about it.
Yeah, it's just a difference of Skull Woods and Desert Palace. That's the difference. But T-Rock is definitely looking like the play right now.
Looks like Ptrain's gonna make that T-Rock play. Ptrain has the fire rod, so we'll be able to do more checks. Hopefully, get something good here, something to move this.
Well, he's about to do the same checks that Ptrain just did over here. So, folks, we have a race, regardless of whatever has happened. This is a race. This is a good race.
Indeed. Couple bonks on the way through the spike kick.
It's happened to the best of us.
Brewers fan also saying no thanks to the red marine. The cat, you wake up the catfish and for all the
So yeah, there's a bottle we will not be seeing. Yeah, it's still a long way to go.
Interesting. Ptrain did not try to check Turtle Rock up there. Went up there just for the spike cave check.
I thought he was gonna go and do that too. I think he's about to go check the purple chest, if I'm looking at this correctly.
Yeah. Because I don't think either of them have checked purple chest. And Brewers fan looks like, oh, no. They look like they were going to go to Skull Woods. Oh, wait. Never mind.
No, he's going to Skull Woods.
Yeah, they're in the light world. My palettes are all messed up in my head.
So yeah, Ptrain got his purple chest now. Gonna get that checked. I wonder if he's gonna do the same thing Brewers fan did earlier. He's gonna drop off the purple chest and then do desert while he's over there.
It's a good clustered route there.
So shortly here, both our runners will have essentially done the same checks.
So I would have to say that Turtle Rock is the play, as you.
So there's 10 arrows from the purple chest. Yeah, Turtle Rock is definitely really attractive right now.
But yeah, that oof, if you're gonna have to double dip Turtle Rock, that's never good. It's never a good feeling if you have to double dip Turtle. In which case, Brewers fan, would you would you consider it a triple dip if they have to, even though they only checked one chest over there?
I'd imagine if our runners had placed something in Turtle Rock, they would have gone there already, but I think they're looking specifically for the ice rod.
Yeah. Yeah, like, oh my. That hint tile is, a thing. That hint tile is a thing.
Blame the seed roller. This guy right here.
The Dark Rid, it was the location of the bow. So that's a thing. Ptrain picking up his red mail and Brewers fan getting that mothy.
I think Ptrain was ready to dip out, but then he realized, wait, this is Crystal Dungeon. I gotta actually finish it.
Bo. I don't even know if I should say. Yeah, Bo is in Mimic Cave.
Well, if you want to blame someone for the fact that tiles are on, you're listening to him.
So yeah, Turtle Rock. Definitely the.
So, Brewers fan just took down the moth. He just got 4 crystals. Ptrain's gonna be facing Lamo here in a moment.
In a land moment. And here we'll get to see if this chest actually does contain 20 bucks. Because someone was saying it was, yeah, that definitely contains 20 bucks. That awkward moment when you don't almost don't have enough magic to light 4.
That awkward moment where you don't want to waste a blue goo to light lamps.
Yeah, I did forget that they have the blue goo.
Blue goo and half magic. Jeez. So Brewers fan is now going to be checking his purple chest. And Ptrain took down the Landmo. Alright, so is this the T-Rock play? So Brewers Fan is making an interesting move here. He's going to Ice Rod Cave, thinking that he missed something over there. And Ptrain is definitely making his way towards Turtle Rock. So this is a nail biter, folks. This is a real close race. Yeah, sometimes when those dead rocks get into that corner there, you're better off just damage boosting. And looks like Brewers Fan is going to be right behind Ptrain going into Turtle Rock here. Ptrain is probably going to do the same checks that Brewers Fan did earlier when he didn't have the boots.
Yeah, luckily...
But Brewers Fan is going to go into T-Rock first. That's what's definitely happening here.
Luckily for Brewers Fan, it's very likely that they will check Mimic Cave so that the hint tile does not come into a strong play.
So Ptrain having better luck inside of.
Is Ptrain gonna go for the hover? Oh, Ptrain is going for the hover. Getting the hover for just a heart piece. And then 10 arrows. That's gotta feel bad, all your hard work. Getting you. Oh, and falls on the last.
I don't know. I would orphan that chest at this point. You got 2 of them from hovering. I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't had much good luck, but yeah.
This is all a time waste right now. And Brewers Fan is getting deeper and deeper into Turtle Rock.
Ptrain knowing that it's odd that knowing that Bo is in Mimic Cave that they're not making the Turtle Rock play sooner.
I wonder if he was worried about Ice Rod potentially being in there, and that maybe Hookshot is somewhere on Turtle Rock. But right now, Brewers Fan has a lead on him in Turtle Rock right now, having gotten the big key chest after his first dip, and right now being further down in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, this is definitely an exciting moment in the race where you get to see both of the runners back in the same area, having made all the same checks pretty much. And there's the ice rod.
Yep. So Brewers Fan has a significant lead right now over Ptrain. That's just how I feel about it right now. Is like Brewers Fan has a very significant lead on Ptrain. And that's a mushroom that's not going to get checked ever.
Now, Brewers fan definitely has to make that Mimic Cave check. Can't overlook it. We know what's there. Most everybody will make this check, but you know, you never know. It looks like he is going to make that check. And we know what's in here. It's the bow.
There's the D.
Ptrain even getting that hint tile. Luckily did not affect the outcome of the Brewers fan getting that bow. Getting that bow first. So Ptrain's gonna find their ice rod.
Yeah, he's gonna be happy about seeing that ice rod here. Because right now in Ptrain's mind, he knows what's up ahead, and he can just go straight to it. And both our runners are just going to be able to go straight to the end of both Pod and Eastern when they go back into those dungeons.
Yeah, as far as hint tiles are concerned, just speaking, you know, in general terms, obviously they have a big impact in the tournament
There's
setting.
a small
But
key.
I've never found the hint tiles to be anything relatively helpful at any time when I'm just doing seeds by myself.
It's like those, the hint tiles are nice, but it's like you go out of your way to check them. So there's Ptrain with his bow.
Brewers fan headed to Trinex.
And this will be a relatively easy Trinex with Gold Sword in hand and half magic.
Along with blue goo in the back, if for some reason they need it. Making quick work of the firehead. Now the ice.
I hate when the ice head gets its attack off. It's just a big waste of time.
I swear that ice is harder to move on than normal ice. And $300.
Alright, so Brewers fans' next destination is going to be probably that Pod Eastern area.
Yep. You can grab both of those at the same time. And it's relatively convenient to do, so you know, I don't know why anyone would. And it looks like, yep, both of them are crystals, which will put, yeah, definitely gonna go do that and get into Ganon's. Or making, I
think Brewers fan needed to check Lake Helio just to be safe.
Not quite sure where Brewers fan is headed. Maybe to break sequence and do Ice Palace? What?
Yeah. Does he fake flip a ring? I'm so confused. So there goes one of the heads for Trinex. Let's see. Well, if there's anything, people who've watched this tournament thus far, is we all know we don't need a hook shot for Ice Palace too. Hook shot is a suggestion.
Yeah, Zora Ledge has only a bottle, so it's likely not that. I'm not sure if he checked Hobo, but I mean, to me, you have the bow. You have 2 crystals at Eastern and
There's a red shield.
Pod. Why wouldn't you go to Eastern and Pod at this moment? Knowing that,
let's see what Ptrain does.
knowing that you can check GT afterward.
Brewers fan, what are you doing? He must be concerned about something.
I'm struggling to find the strategy here. Even though these checks are easy, you know, a lot of things can be in GT.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could be in GT, and he's about to check a mushroom.
I would prioritize GT access right now.
Absolutely. GT access has to be your priority at this point.
Which that looks like it's Ptrain's priority right now.
That was a sand cart. Yep. And so Ptrain is now in Palace Darkness, doing that right side check that I thought he'd do from.
Okay, Brewers fan, I would say, is probably going to head to Pod at this point.
Well, it is the way you need to do it, because you go to Pod, you finish it, then you mirror back to Eastern.
Right. Ptrain just took the portal south of Eastern to get into Dark World, whereas Brewers took that.
I think we're just going to have to ask him what his thought was doing those checks there.
Because I understand that there are still items out there that you may be looking for, such as hook shot and flute, flippers.
Yeah, I think
knowing that.
I think specifically right now that he was looking for that hook shot.
Yeah, but knowing that you'll have GT open, and the likelihood that someone put, especially with the booth and the audience picks available, the likelihood that someone put the hook shot in GT, but it's pretty good. So I would go with the GT logic. But
I mean, especially the past couple of days with people putting the hook shot up there.
I mean, just the match prior to this one, it was. And Ptrain about to wrap up Pop.
Meanwhile, Brewers fan is shadowing him in Pod.
It just goes to show that the speed of Brewers in terms of execution versus Ptrain, you can definitely notice that there is a difference, because Brewers is able to catch up to Ptrain even after doing all of those checks.
Well, with one thing is, Brewers fan also had a lead going into Pod, and it just slightly swapped because of those checks. And that's a shovel. If I was Ptrain, I wouldn't be happy to see that shovel. So here goes Ptrain right back into Eastern to finish it off.
And Brewers fan finishing off Helmasaur King. Finding his shovel.
I don't know. I gotta tell you, I'm not happy about seeing that shovel if I was either of these runners. With what I still need, I'm not happy about seeing that shovel.
Well, you know, you figure it could be the fetch quest, you know, that still hold your items. You're about to go into GT, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Obviously, you probably like to go into GT, being able to not have to double dip, but you know, in an all dungeons, I don't know if that's even really a thing that's possible with the way placements go in these tournaments.
So Ptrain getting his last crystal, and it does have GT access now. And I think that's where he's going.
And even though GT is not the final ascent, because it looks like none of the pendants have been touched.
This has pretty much been going the way I said about 30 minutes ago.
We can still make our speculations as to where the GT big key is. What are you gonna go with today? I'm feeling 13.
Lucky number 17. Alright, so here we go. So Brewers fan is going to be checking the dig spot here now. I don't know about this check.
Well, it's again, well, this one in particular, not going to take a whole lot of time. So if it turns out to be nothing, then it is what it is.
Small key and torch, that's one.
And Ptrain hovering. Obviously, 2, 3, 4, 5 are not going to be the answer because that would be out of logic.
That's our third shield right there. And Brewers Fan is about to check the pyramid.
So this one is in logic. Six is a no-go.
So let's see what's inside the pyramid tonight. If there's anything interesting in there.
Quake.
There's Quake.
We have not seen Misery Mire, so it could be. The awkward part about these checks is none of these that Ptrain is doing are going to be in logic. So the big key is not going to be here.
Yeah, I'm starting to think big key's on the right side.
So we are up to 11. Hook shot could indeed be in tile room.
We're about to check Bob's chest here.
Well, I believe these chests can be in logic because
There's a flipper.
The right side. 13, 14, 15, nothing.
So, GT Big Key is on the right side.
And Brewers Fan finally making his way up to the Ganon's. So let's just see. 18, 19.
With what's left, you gotta check towel room here first.
Yeah, this would be rather annoying if Big Key is in the tile room. Looks like Brewers Fan checking the tile room first.
Flute!
Flute in tile room. Good check though. Rather rude Ganon's tower hiding all the prizes. It's gonna be the last place he looks. Well, there you go. Big key. That was what,
I think that was technically 21.
21, yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like Ptrain is going to check the big chest here beforehand.
So if the hook is in here, it'd be either upstairs. Well, no, it could. Yeah, it could be upstairs.
Yeah, but I think this is a good check regardless. And
there
it is. Just so I could just make this point, Brewers fan went right side first. So that lead Ptrain has shrunk.
Indeed. But Brewers did not find the water toes, which will be something that they will need.
Considering his direction, it may be moot.
Yeah, it would be a pretty feels bad moment if you left the water toes again.
There's the water toes. Brewers fan is not checking the GT big chest.
Oh,
Brewers. That feels bad, man.
Oh, he did. Never mind. He did.
Okay, I must have missed that. So yeah, close race.
Yep. It's Brewers fan is got a little bit of catching up to do, but there's still plenty of time left.
It's like a Trolldorn fall here, a Ganon fall. Anything could swing this.
Yeah. From here on out, it's execution, unless Quake is required for Misery Mire. Ptrain will have to go looking for.
And we do know where Quake is. That was in the pyramid.
This race has definitely been a close one for the majority of the race. There's really been no point where either runner pulled out to a large. Brewers fan making some interesting checks earlier on, but they paid off to not affect him negatively doing those pod and Eastern checks.
I got a feel for Ptrain because he closed the gap by going to pod very early and getting that fire rod.
But yeah, it's all execution here. Unless Quake is required for Misery Mire, it's just a straight up race to the finish from.
Yeah, so our runners are pretty much going to be go moding all three dungeons, Mire permitting.
And if I was Ptrain, Mire would probably be the first place I checked to see if I was in go.
Yeah, I definitely go to Meyer first. I go to Meyer first, and then go into the other 2 dungeons, hoping to find that Quake. Quake is inside Pyramid.
Ptrain bonking the wall out of frustration after missing the reflects on that fate. And down goes Aga 2. No, Ptrain's lead is not huge. If anything, like, Brewers really kind of may potentially have a huge lead, depending on how Ptrain operates. And depending on if Quake is required.
The one thing Brewers fan definitely did to cut down the lead was go right side immediately.
Yeah.
Because he probably banked on the fact that he hadn't found his hook shot, so he knew he could go right side.
Ptrain headed straight to Keck to release the
Quacken.
There you go, that's a good one. Brewers fan taking down Aga 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for our national anthem. Release the Quacken!
The duck is amuck, the goose is loose.
The fowl is on the prowl.
So, Brewers fan has, once he gets the duck, he has any number of things that he can do in any order that he wants to do. And is it Quake? Ptrain doesn't want to see Quake. Oh my god. It is Quake. That is not what Ptrain wanted to see. You've got every item in the game except the one you... Oh, yeah, he's definitely sweating now, messing up the Meyer shed.
Okay, so I had to step away there a moment, but I could see on a tracker it's Quake.
Yep. So, this is gonna come down to, again, execution on Brewers fans level. You know, a clean execution is pretty much gonna seal it. But any number of things can... Ptrain is gonna spend time looking for Quake, and there are a number of scattered checks that Ptrain can make, but the one that we know he needs is Pyramid. So how long will it take to take?
And according to our tracker Darkrid, I'm his official seed roller from now on. And all I gotta say, Darkrid, is I only give the best seeds.
Yeah, Ptrain definitely is gonna have to scratch the old noodle here, try to figure out where that Quake medallion is.
This is gonna kill him when he finds out where it is.
I mean, you could also make the assumption as Ptrain, because to me, I would continue with dungeons. Probably. I would hope to find it in the other pendant dungeons. Because at least you're still on track.
And let's start a riot.
But when you're facing, you know, your go mode is locked behind one item, that the other thing is you start to kind of think differently.
Yeah, so Ptrain is doing what I thought he might do if I was in his situation, and it's do the dungeons that I can do, looking for that item. And this is just going to take more time for him.
And Ptrain checking them hints. Oh, he went in just to check the hint. I definitely can see that he is panicking.
Oh.
Not
shovel.
Yep, shovel. But yeah, as you said, if I did a couple checks and nothing came up, I would feel off track, and I'd feel like, well, I just have to do the dungeons that I can for now and hope it turns up.
Okay, this looks good now. Ptrain is about to go do his Fat Fairy check.
But again, maybe no Fat Fairy. Looks like, going to do. Don't tell me that he's gonna just check the swamp hint.
No, he already did that earlier.
Oh, that's right, he did. So, yeah, definitely should. This is a play you should be making in this situation. Doing a pendant dungeon, trying to stay, you know, in the race here. Because there's any number of junk you can find in the overworld, but at least here you're going to get your pendant and you're going to stay.
It's still pretty bad, though, Math Girl. At least from a commentator and audience perspective.
And while he is in Swamp Palace, it's time to scratch the old noodle and do some thinking while you're in here, you know.
Well, the upside is he does swamp. He doesn't find here. He could, if he thinks about it, go straight back north and do the pyramid.
Yeah.
But unlike Brewer's fan in a moment here, who was just going to outright go mode swamp, Ptrain's going to be making those checks.
Yep. And again, you know, this is the right call. You know, doing swamp, even if you have to make those checks, you know, because you don't know where Quake is, and you just gotta hope it's in a dungeon that you're doing. GFE, yeah, that we do know that from a commentator and viewer perspective, but you know, it's just a matter of how they do their routing. And Ptrain looks like go moding swamp anyway.
Yeah, he's
Maybe.
refusing. He's refusing to check left side.
Checking one chest down and then just going for the. Oh, that's right. He got the hint knowing that the West Wing was. So that does play into his favor a little bit, but. I mean, Brewers fan is catching up, and he's already a full dungeon ahead.
Yes, Darkred. Flippers, flute, and hookshot were all in GT.
I have to say though, this race has been definitely interesting so far. Very close race for the majority, and you wonder how close. Go ahead.
$20 for his effort and a green pendant, and I don't think Ptrain wanted to see that green pendant. No, that's probably a good thing.
Well, it's something that he may think to check.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's another thing he may think to check. And us, as commentary and viewers, we know he shouldn't.
Okay, so it looks like he's gonna do Fat Fairy and get that Quake.
He's gonna breathe a sigh of relief, but he's gonna be a full dungeon down now.
He's gonna have to hope that Brewers fan makes some serious execution mistakes. Well, I mean, with this loadout, obviously, you know, you can't say, you know, that it's gonna be likely that anyone's gonna, you know, fail at what's left, but any number of things can always happen.
Okay, so looks like Ptrain's gonna go into Ice Palace behind Brewers, and then do Maya.
So Brewers down to the last pendant. Wherever this big key ends up,
that matters little. I'm just going to go on the assumption that Brewers knows how to bomb jump, and that big key matters little.
Yeah.
But if you're like me, a scrub who doesn't really execute that bomb jump well, you're coming in here looking for at least one small key and the big key. That's all you're looking for. He was thinking about hitting that switch. He looked at it like 3 times.
Very very quick setup on the bomb.
Yeah, so straight to Cold Stare we go.
All right, Ptrain coming up right behind him. Going to be at Cold Stairs. But again, it's one of those things where a catastrophe would have to happen on JP's side to really give Ptrain a chance at this. Yep, that butter sword really cuts through cold stare like a hot knife through butter.
Or cotton candy, I guess.
So the Ganon fight, pretty trivial with red mail and butter.
Red mail, butter, silvers.
Already into phase 3. Ptrain headed to finish up Misery Mire. I'd have to say, so far, out of all the races I have watched, this is probably one of the closest that I've seen.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the closest I've seen, especially in this tournament.
Especially because that one random, it's those gambles, that that you do that sometimes pay off, and JP's gamble to do some of those pre-GT checks really paid off. And get your GGs in the chat for BrewersFanJP, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, 12 seconds. Looks like Ptrain.
Yeah, so
hearing the news.
Yeah, Ptrain has decided to forfeit the race.
We'll see. We'll get both of them in here and see what they thought of the. We're joined first by BrewersFanJP, followed by a Ptrain.
Now, I want to ask you both first, are you fine with the results?
I mean, I'm fine. I don't know. I don't know what got Ptrain in this one, so I don't know how he's feeling.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but my locations are messed up, and then one of my picks are actually spoiled by a hint.
And Yeah, so any annoyances you have, you can immediately direct them at me.
Well,
Yeah.
I will be fair to Ptrain. I did not check any hints. So
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
started checking them after. I think I randomly checked a Hera hint, and then I realized the hints were on. And I was like, "Oh dang!" Because I put my picks were I put flute in. My original pick was to put mirror in tile room, and then bow like in mire, and that was declined. So then I put flute in tile room with bow. Not I put mirror in tile room with bow somewhere. I don't know. Either way, I wanted the bow to be locked behind mirror, or I wanted the bow to be locked behind GT. And then my race picks got mixed up, so bow was just randomly in Mimic Cave, and the flute was randomly in GT. And
Well-
it took me a while because I was trying to figure out like what was going on, because I did a map check before escape, and I saw EP was a crystal, so I was like, oh dang, like something's wrong here.
Well, one of your choices as we were going through that whole mess before the seed was bow and mimic cave, so that's where the mix-up was. So yeah, I mixed those up. I mixed up bow, mimic cave, and flute in tile room. So that's all on me. I screwed that up.
so I'll leave it to you then, Ptrain. If you want to request another race, I guess that's fine. But I'll leave it up to you.
Now we'll go ahead and let this one stand. I don't know. I'd hate that we ran this for nothing. So
Well, with that being the case, let's go ahead and talk about this seed, because this was a race. This was a really good race.
Yeah. How far behind was Ptrain when he forfeit? I'm just curious.
One dungeon. He was in Mire. Pretty much the main difference was you had gone to Pyramid Ferry to get that quake where P-Train had.
Oh, so he maybe didn't go mode ice or swamp.
He did go mow those two dungeons, but he had not gone to the pyramid yet. Pretty much you went to the pyramid before GT, but he had not.
Okay.
yeah, I was
So-
trying to medic at the beginning of the game. I thought you had actually placed Moon Pearl.
I did place Moon Pearl.
You did.
Bruce, you should tell him your other placement.
Flippers behind Ice Armos.
Wow. So I thought you placed flippers and hookshot at the end of it all.
No,
No.
I didn't. I placed
No.
Hookshot.
I'll tell you who placed Hookshot. It was this guy. As a member of commentary.
Gotcha. It felt too like Moon Pearl felt too staged, and then for the flippers and hookshot, like I was convinced you had done Moon Pearl, but then when I found flippers and hookshot, I was like, this is a little too convenient.
Now, I'll reveal our audience choice, which was done by our good mutual friend Shireen, and it was simply the boots in Thieves Town in the big chest.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I did the Moon Pearl placement because I was hoping, okay, if I can get as soon as I can get my Dark World or everything else for Dark World, then I'll go for it. And I figured maybe that'd give me a little bit of an advantage early. Especially with the way things fell, because Death Mountain looked pretty appealing.
Yeah, the way we were getting progression, I think like we had super early hammer, super early mitts, mirror, like all this other stuff. I actually thought you might have placed something on a tablet, because I'd heard that if you place something on a tablet, it basically pushes everything into sphere 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
that's something we've definitely learned earlier. By earlier, I mean this morning, when I pretty much put the pearl on the ether tablet, because I wanted to put the book on Desert Lands, but I ended up putting the book in King's Tube. So that's something we learned.
That's interesting. But there was one other thing I was going to mention that was up with the seed. Wasn't a big deal, but I mentioned it. You also did not place the key in Skullwoods.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a 20 rupee in that chest. Not a big deal because it didn't affect the seed at all, but just thought I'd mention it.
Don't worry, I was already getting it from the audience, so don't worry.
Yeah, after I saw the hint in Desert Palace spoiled Mimic Cave, so I was like, oh, well, he knows one of my picks already. So after that point, I just started gambling like crazy. I ended up full clearing the world before heading up to Turtle Rock. I tried to hover Hookshot Cave, which I got all but like the last chest because I was like, man, I just have to hope something's behind Hookshot and that messes him up, and ended up failing that. And then I hovered right side GT because I was like, well, maybe there's something over here. And just after the moment I saw that hint, I figured, I was like, man, he already knows like half of my placements. And then after hovering GT and then seeing where Flippers and Hookshot was, I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, there's no way I'm winning this one.
No,
Ptrain, you had actually got into GT before Brewers Fan did.
And the thing that really, you both were 100% like super close. Like, you kept trading little leads here and there. Like, you were going through the same dungeons, and you were maybe like a room behind or so. And the thing that really made the difference is the one item that you didn't have, which was Quake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like early on, it seemed like Brewers Fan was just pulling further and further away from Ptrain. But then Ptrain, when he finally got into the Dark World, went over to Pod and got his Fire Rod, and that quickly closed the gap.
Yeah, I could see that. I think because of the bow placement, Pod was a required double dip, so...
Yeah, when it was, I knew it was all dungeons, and we got an early mirror. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do... I skipped EP. I did Sahasrara, but I skipped Eastern Palace. I did Death Mountain, and I was like, well, it's all dungeons. I'm going to do Aga. I have the mirror. So if Moon Pearl isn't on Pyramid, then I still, I just mirror and go to Eastern Palace. So that worked out. I found Pearl on the Pyramid, then just walked over to Pod, mirror, did Eastern, and that was my start into the Dark World.
Yeah. Yeah, and as I said, if it hadn't been for Quake, it would have been totally 100% execution. That would have been the defining factor for the rest of the match. Just getting through those dungeons as fast as possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely... It's better when it does come down to execution. I mean, this one definitely was somewhat execution at the end, since you could go mode 3 dungeons, but... Yeah, I mean... I feel bad that, the placements didn't work out for you, but, still got another race coming up, so hopefully... Well, not hopefully for me that you win that one, but hopefully maybe that one goes a bit better. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling.
We'll see.
It was definitely an amazing race to us watching and commentating, and I'm sure the audience loved it as well. But is there any other comments that you'd like to make on the seed?
Not really. I mean, that's one of the more interesting seeds in terms of overall placement. You didn't have to touch a pendant dungeon until after GT, which is funny. I mean, that's partially because of the item placement, but still.
Yeah. A lot of item placements happening in GT, and that's probably what we have to thank for that.
Which is one of the reasons why the seed rolling earlier was taking forever, because the both of you wanted to put the bow somewhere in GT.
Yeah. Well, I'm not giving away where I wanted to put it because I may save that for another time.
All right, then let's go ahead and wrap this puppy up. Once again, give our runners Ptrain and BrewersFanJP a follow. They gave us a fantastic race this evening. Give a follow to our restreamer Sandris and our tracker Darkrid. Give a follow to my co-commentator HXC Jetters. Tomorrow we have 2 more races for you. We have at about 7 p.m. we have a Group C match that features Bressingham and SAGT. Be in for a long race because that is going to be an Oko All Dungeons race with Enemizer. So be ready for that. And then we also have at 8 o'clock a Group A match featuring 1UP and Ursula. That is pretty much going to be Stan Gandon Rando Swords. So be ready for those races tomorrow, folks. Jetters, do you have anything extra to add?
The only thing I have extra to add is I cannot wait to watch that Oko, because that is going to be an entertaining. But other than that, it's been great having you here, and I hope you had a good time watching the match. Again, give our restreamers a follow, give our runners a follow, give my co-commentator Siberian a follow, and our tracker Darkrid. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Good night.